Hey everyone, it's Michael Brook from Rapid Couples Counselling. I just thought I'd record this brief video on some of the key principles that are important to understand for a relationship. I'm going to go through them very briefly and then I will go through each of them in detail. The first one is attention is a currency of relationship. The next one is go first. The next one, you can't punish your way towards somebody wanting you. The next thing is there is no past, so be in the present and work towards a great future. And emotion regulation is your responsibility, not your partner. So let's move right along, shall we? Okay. Attention is a currency of relationship. I say this over and over and over and over again. Attention is a currency of relationship. When you're giving your partner your attention, you're having a relationship. If you're withholding your attention, or you're not giving your partner, you are not relating to them. This might seem intrinsically obvious, but we live in a day and age where mobile phones, digital media, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all these things are continually taking away our attention from each other. And people are becoming time poor and attention poor. So it's very, very important for people to maintain attention with their partner. I say to people all the time, pretend it's 1985 and there's one phone in the house connected to the wall via a copper cable. How would you have a relationship then? And back then, people spent a lot more time with each other. They would play card games, they played board games, they'd sit down and read books together, talk about stuff. They'd do a lot of things very differently to what they do now. So attention is a currency of relationship. Because here's the thing, one of the things I've noticed with a whole heap of people, in the absence of positive attention, human beings will seek out negative attention, because negative attention is better than indifferent. And I've asked this question to hundreds and hundreds of couples. What happens to a 2 or a 3-year-old human being if they're not getting right attention? To a toddler? Well, the universal response is if a toddler isn't getting the amount of attention it wants from its parents, it will lose its shit and do something naughty or start doing something it shouldn't or throw a tantrum or whatever in order to get mum and dad's full complete attention. Because as far as a 2 or 3-year-old is concerned, negative attention is better than zero attention at all. But most adults, pretty much all adults, are 2 or 3-year-olds grown big. And so I see this in couples all the time. If they're not getting their partner positive time and attention, they will actively they'll either pick a fight or have an argument in order for them to get their partner's attention. So attention isn't something you can get around. Now, there might be some times when you may be unable to give your partner your time and attention. For example, you're very busy, or you're sick, or you've got kids, or you've got a lot of stresses in your life. That might be something that's going on. And so in which case, you have to be able to tolerate that for a short period of time. But if that happens for over an extended period of time, then the relationship becomes a substantial problem because they're not giving each other their time and attention. Okay, the next thing is go first. What go first means is that the principle of go first states if you want to improve your relationship, you need to go first. A lot of people end up waiting for their partner to go first. A lot of people end up waiting for their partner to go first, and so they sit down and they do nothing. And then their partner notices their partner's not doing anything. And so both people are sitting down like a Mexican standoff, and there's a video in here that will talk about some of the 5 different practices that people do to destroy relationships. One of them is a Mexican standoff, where both people look at each other going, I'm not going to move. I'm only going to move if you move first. And that doesn't work. But what does work is go first, right? If you go first and begin making positive changes, and your partner does at the same time, relationships improve really quickly. And that's part of the rapid difference. But you need to go first. The next thing is, you can't punish your way towards somebody wanting you. Desire and punishment work differently. Now, this might seem intrinsically obvious, but some people will end up punishing their. They'll either do that through harsh words, or criticism, or withdrawal, or either both emotional withdrawal, or physical withdrawal, time withdrawal, or sexual withdrawal. If I'm disappointed with you, or you're then what I might do is I just not be around you because I'm pissed off. Or, and so I've got a whole heap of different examples of different creative ways that people will do that. But the problem is people want to be wanted. People want to be wanted. We want to feel desired. But the problem is if someone's punishing you, you don't desire. It's difficult to desire someone metaphorically smashing them in the face or just not around. Desire and punishment work differently. It's really important if you have disappointment, if you've got resentment from the past, or if something's gone on, it's caused you a lot of pain, that you punish for a short period of time because it's helpful, and then you let it go and keep moving forward. Some people will punish their partner for their disappointments for decades. I'm not joking about it. Some people will punish their partner for stuff that happened 20 years, continue doing it, even though it happened 20 years ago. And so that's a good way of making both people miserable. In order for people to have a good relationship, you need to desire each other, you need to desire the relationship, and you need to bring desire to each other. So punishment and desire work differently. The next important principle, and some people might have a challenge with this, is that there is no past. Like, it's really important to be in the here and now and look to the future. This is kind of related to the previous one. Some people will literally punish their partner for stuff they did 20 years ago, even though 20 years is a very, 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 very long period of time. It's really, really important for both people to choose to be in the present moment and to not bring up the past all the time. Right? It's absolutely essential for people to be in the present moment and work towards a future you both want. Now, the next thing is emotion regulation. Your emotion regulation isn't your partner's responsibility. Some people will make their emotional regulation their partner's responsibility. Now, they may be dealing with some kind of addiction, a gambling addiction or a porn addiction or an alcohol addiction, or it might be they have jealousy issues, or it could be they might have just a very fragile emotional robustness. And then if they're behaving in a really fragile way, then what they'll have to do is they'll attempt to regulate the behavior of the people around them so they don't get emotional states they don't want. Or if they're dealing with, say, for example, anxiety and depression, they lean on their partner extremely heavily so the emotions and experience of that anxiety and depression can be alleviated. The problem is major issues get created in a relationship when you make your partner your emotional regulation device. Because if you make your partner the device or the thing that regulates your emotions, when they can't, if they ever get to a point where they're having a bad time and they can't regulate your emotions, your relationship will go into crisis. And then both people have a major problem. So making your partner your psychiatric nursemaid or your emotion regulation device is not a good idea, because they're going to get to a point at some point where they can't do that, and then you both go into crisis. So it's incredibly important for you to regulate your own emotional states and for them to regulate their own emotional states, and two well-regulated people together. Two well-regulated people can have a great relationship. These are the principles that really, really work in relationships and that I talk about all the time. Attention is a currency of relationship. Go first. Don't make your partner go first. You go first. You can't punish your way towards wanting you. Be in the present moment and work towards a great future. And don't make your partner your emotional self-regulation device. Regulate your own emotions, and then your relationship will improve. I hope this has helped. It might be helpful for you to have a look at your relationship to see how one of those principles might be being fulfilled or violated. If you feel like you want to book in for a session, the link to my booking calendar is in the description. Please like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you some other time. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. Bye!